My friends, students, fellow travelers on this path of life, today we delve into a topic that touches the very core of our human experience: disrespect. Why does it happen? Why do we feel it? And how can we, as individuals striving for mastery, not just endure it, but transform it? The first step, the most crucial step, is to understand its roots. Disrespect at its heart is rarely about you. It is almost always a reflection, a projection, or a symptom of something deeper within the person who is exhibiting it. Consider this: when a person lashes out, dismisses your words, or undermines your efforts, are they truly seeing you, or are they seeing a mirror of their own insecurities, their own frustrations, their own unfulfilled desires? Often disrespect stems from a place of fear: fear of not being enough, fear of losing control, fear of being overshadowed. When someone feels small, they may try to make others smaller to feel momentarily larger. This is not strength, it is a profound weakness disguised as aggression. They project their internal chaos onto the external world, and unfortunately, you might become the canvas for their inner turmoil. Another root lies in a lack of self-awareness. Many people move through life on autopilot, reacting instinctively rather than responding thoughtfully. They haven't taken the time to understand their own triggers, their own biases, their own unhealed wounds. When such a person encounters someone who challenges their worldview or simply exists in a way that makes them uncomfortable, their automatic response might be to belittle or dismiss. They don't know how else to process the discomfort, so they externalize it. They disrespect you not because you are inherently disrespectable, but because they lack the internal tools to manage their own discomfort or perceive your worth. Then there's the insidious nature of learned behavior. We live in a world where disrespect is often modeled, from media to daily interactions. Children observe adults, employees observe leaders, and if the prevailing culture is one where cutting others down is normalized, then it becomes a default mode of interaction. People may disrespect you simply because they don't know any other way to communicate, to assert themselves, or to navigate conflict. They are operating from a limited playbook, unaware of the richness and power that genuine respect can bring to human connection. And what about our own role? While disrespect is rarely about you, we must also examine how we present ourselves. Do we project an image of uncertainty, of a lack of boundaries, of a willingness to be walked over? Sometimes, unintentionally, we invite disrespect by not clearly defining our own worth. If you do not respect your own time, your own energy, your own values, then how can you expect others to? This is not about blame. It is about empowerment. It is about recognizing that while we cannot control others' actions, we have absolute control over how we carry ourselves, how we set our standards, and how we communicate our boundaries. Understanding these roots is not about excusing the behavior of others, but about liberating ourselves from its grip. When you realize that someone's disrespect is often a cry for help, a sign of their own struggle, or a reflection of their limited understanding, it loses its power over you. It transforms from a personal attack into an impersonal observation. This shift in perspective is the first step towards flipping the power dynamic. It allows you to respond from a place of strength and compassion, rather than reacting from a place of hurt or anger. By seeing the roots, you gain clarity, and with clarity comes the ability to choose your path forward, unburdened by the weight of others' projections. This understanding is your shield, and your first step towards true self-mastery. My friends, let us now turn our gaze inward to a common trap that ensnares many of us: the relentless pursuit of external validation. This is a subtle yet profound root cause of why we often feel the sting of disrespect so acutely. We mistakenly believe that our worth is determined by how others perceive us, by the accolades they bestow, or by the respect they offer. This, I tell you, is a dangerous illusion, a fragile foundation upon which to build your sense of self. When your self-worth is tethered to the opinions of others, you become a puppet to their whims. Their praise lifts you to temporary heights, but their criticism or disrespect can plunge you into depths of despair. You are constantly seeking approval, constantly adjusting your sails to catch the winds of others' acceptance. This makes you vulnerable, open to manipulation, and ultimately diminishes your true power. If you are always looking outside for someone to tell you that you are worthy, you will never truly find that worth within yourself. And if you do not find it within yourself, then any disrespect from the outside will feel like a confirmation of your deepest fears. Consider the nature of true strength. Does a mighty oak bend to every breeze? No. It stands firm, rooted deeply in the earth, drawing sustenance from within. Its strength is inherent, not dependent on whether a passerby admires its branches. Similarly, your strength, your worth, your inherent dignity is not something that can be given or taken away by another person. It is an intrinsic quality of your being, waiting to be recognized and cultivated by you. The pursuit of external validation is a never-ending chase. Even if you receive 1,000 compliments, one cutting remark can unravel your fragile sense of self. Why? Because you've handed over the key to your inner peace to someone else. You've given them the power to define you. A Shaolin master does not seek external validation, he seeks internal mastery. His discipline, his strength, his wisdom are cultivated for their own sake, for the sake of his own growth and contribution to the world, not for the applause of onlookers. To detach from others' opinions is not to become arrogant or dismissive of feedback. It is to cultivate a deep, unwavering self-worth that is independent of the fluctuating tides of public opinion. It means knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what your values are, irrespective of whether others approve or disapprove. When you are grounded in this inner certainty, disrespect loses its sharpest edge. It becomes mere noise, a reflection of the speaker's state, rather than a definitive statement about your own value. This detachment is a practice. It requires mindfulness, self-reflection, and the courage to look inward. It means asking yourself, am I doing this for myself or for others? Am I seeking to please or to be true to my principles? When you begin to prioritize your own integrity, your own growth, and your own inner peace above the fleeting approval of others, you reclaim your power. You become the architect of your own self-esteem, building it on the solid rock of self-respect, rather than the shifting sands of external validation. This is the path to true liberation, where disrespect becomes an irrelevant whisper against the roar of your inner strength. My dear friends, having understood the deceptive allure of external validation, we now arrive at the cornerstone of flipping the power dynamic, the cultivation of profound inner strength and unwavering self-respect. This is not a passive state, it is an active daily practice, a discipline that fortifies your spirit against the slings and arrows of external negativity. Without this inner fortress, you remain vulnerable, susceptible to every ill wind of disrespect that blows your way. How do we build this inner strength? It begins with discipline. Discipline in your thoughts, discipline in your actions, discipline in your commitments to yourself. Just as a martial artist hones their body through rigorous training, so too must you hone your mind and spirit. This means setting clear boundaries for yourself and for others. It means saying no when necessary, even if it feels uncomfortable. It means honoring your own time, your own energy, and your own needs. When you consistently show yourself this level of respect, you send a clear signal to the universe and to those around you about your inherent worth. Self-awareness is another vital component. Understand your values, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your triggers. When you know yourself intimately, you are less likely to be swayed by external judgments. You can discern between constructive criticism and baseless disrespect. You understand that your worth is not diminished by your imperfections, but rather your journey of growth is enriched by acknowledging them. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation or quiet reflection, are invaluable tools for cultivating this deep self-awareness. They allow you to observe your thoughts and emotions without judgment, creating a space for clarity and inner peace. Remember, self-respect is not arrogance. It is a quiet confidence, a deep knowing of your own value, independent of external circumstances. It is the understanding that you are deserving of kindness, dignity, and fair treatment, simply by virtue of being a human being. When you embody this truth, your posture changes, your voice gains conviction, and your energy shifts. People, consciously or unconsciously, pick up on this. They sense your inner strength, and often their behavior towards you will adjust accordingly. Setting boundaries is a direct manifestation of self-respect. These are not walls to keep people out, but rather fences that define your personal space and protect your energy. They communicate what is acceptable and what is not. When someone oversteps a boundary, it is an opportunity, not for anger, but for clear, calm assertion. I understand your perspective, but I am not comfortable with that tone. My time is valuable and I need to prioritize this task. These are not aggressive statements, they are statements of self-respect, and when delivered with calm conviction, they are powerful. The journey of cultivating inner strength and self-respect is continuous. There will be days when you falter, when the noise of the world seems overwhelming. But each time you choose to honor yourself, each time you stand firm in your values, each time you practice self-compassion, you reinforce that inner fortress. This is the true power, my friends. It is not power over others, but power over yourself. It is the power to define your own worth, to protect your own peace, and to walk through the world with an unshakable sense of dignity. When you possess this, external disrespect becomes a mere echo, unable to penetrate the solid walls of your cultivated inner strength. My friends, we have explored the roots of disrespect and the vital importance of cultivating our inner strength. Now, let us consider one of the most potent tools in our arsenal for flipping the power dynamic, the profound power of non-reaction. This is not about passivity. It is about strategic, conscious, and masterful emotional control. It is about choosing your response rather than being enslaved by an automatic, often self-defeating reaction. When someone disrespects you, their primary aim, whether conscious or unconscious, is often to elicit a reaction. They want to provoke anger, frustration, sadness, or defensiveness. Why? Because your reaction validates their perceived power. It confirms that they have successfully pushed your buttons, that they have disturbed your inner peace. When you react emotionally, you hand over your power to them on a silver platter. You become a puppet to their provocations, allowing them to dictate your emotional state. The Shaolin path teaches us to observe, not to immediately engage. Imagine a still pond. When a stone is thrown, ripples spread across its surface, but the pond itself remains unchanged at its depths. Similarly, when disrespect is hurled your way, it is like a stone. You can allow it to create ripples of anger and hurt, or you can choose to remain the still pond, observing the disturbance without allowing it to penetrate your core. Non-reaction is not about suppressing your emotions. It is about acknowledging them, observing them, and then consciously deciding how to proceed. You might feel anger, yes, but you do not become the anger. You observe it, understand its source, and then choose a response that serves your highest good, rather than simply reacting out of impulse. This pause, this moment of conscious choice, is where your true power resides. Consider the person who disrespects you. Often, they are seeking attention, or they are operating from a place of their own unresolved issues. When you refuse to react, when you meet their provocation with calm, silence, or a measured, assertive response, you deny them the energy they seek. Their aggression, deprived of fuel, often dissipates. It is like trying to light a fire without oxygen. It simply cannot burn. This requires immense self-discipline. It requires training your mind to resist the immediate urge to defend, to retaliate, or to explain. It means cultivating a deep sense of inner peace that is not easily disturbed. Practice this in small moments. When someone cuts you off in traffic, when a minor inconvenience arises, observe your initial urge to react, then consciously choose a different path. The more you practice, the stronger your capacity for non-reaction becomes. The power of non-reaction also lies in its ability to disarm. When someone expects an argument and is met with calm, they are often thrown off balance. It shifts the dynamic. Instead of a conflict, you create a void where their negativity has no purchase. This allows you to maintain your composure, your dignity, and your strategic advantage. You remain in control of yourself, which is the only control that truly matters. So, the next time disrespect knocks at your door, pause, take a breath, observe the sensation within you, and then choose. Choose not to react impulsively. Choose to maintain your inner peace. Choose to deny the provocateur the power they seek. In that moment of non-reaction, you are not weak. You are demonstrating a profound strength, a mastery over your own emotions, and a clear signal that your inner peace is not for sale. This is how you truly flip the power dynamic, not by fighting fire with fire, but by becoming the calm that extinguishes the flame. My dear friends, we have spoken of understanding disrespect, of cultivating inner strength, and of the profound power of non-reaction. Now let us turn our attention to the active engagement that, when wielded with wisdom, can transform interactions, communication. Communication, when used skillfully, is not merely about exchanging words. It is a powerful tool for empowerment, for setting boundaries, and for fostering genuine respect. Many people confuse assertiveness with aggression. Aggression is about dominating, about forcing your will upon another. Assertiveness, however, is about clearly and calmly stating your needs, your boundaries, and your truth, while respecting the other person's right to theirs. It is about standing firm in your own space without infringing on theirs. When disrespect occurs, an assertive response is often far more effective than either passive acceptance or angry retaliation. How do we communicate assertively in the face of disrespect? First, choose your moment. While non-reaction is powerful, there are times when a clear verbal boundary is necessary. This is not about immediate reaction, but about a thoughtful response. I need to address something that happened. When you spoke to me in that tone, I felt disrespected. Notice the I statements. Focus on your feelings and the specific behavior, not on labeling the other person. This prevents defensiveness and keeps the conversation focused on the issue, not on character assassination. Secondly, be clear and concise. Do not ramble or apologize for your feelings. State your boundary directly. I will not tolerate being spoken to in that manner. Please do not interrupt me when I am speaking. My work requires focus and I need quiet during these hours. These are not requests. They are statements of your standard. The clarity leaves no room for misinterpretation. Thirdly, maintain your composure. Your tone of voice, your body language, and your eye contact are just as important as your words. If you communicate assertively from a place of anger or fear, your message will be diluted. But if you speak with calm conviction, your words carry weight. This reinforces the message that you are in control of yourself and that your boundaries are non-negotiable. Remember the still pond. Even when communicating, maintain that inner stillness. Active listening is also a crucial part of empowering communication, even when you are the one feeling disrespected. Sometimes disrespect stems from a misunderstanding or a perceived slight on the other person's part. By listening, truly listening, you might uncover the underlying issue. I hear that you are frustrated, but that doesn't give you the right to speak to me that way. This acknowledges their feeling while still holding your boundary. It can de-escalate tension and open a path for resolution. Finally, understand that not every act of disrespect requires a verbal confrontation. Sometimes the most powerful communication is through your actions. Consistently upholding your boundaries, walking away from toxic situations, or simply limiting your engagement with disrespectful individuals sends a clear message without uttering a single word. Your behavior becomes your communication, demonstrating your self-respect in a tangible way. Communication in its truest sense is about creating understanding and maintaining healthy relationships, even if those relationships involve clear boundaries. When you master the art of assertive communication, you transform from a passive recipient of disrespect into an active participant in defining the terms of your interactions. You empower yourself to protect your peace, to uphold your dignity, and to teach others how to treat you, not through aggression, but through clarity, composure, and unwavering self-respect. This is how communication becomes a tool, not just for speaking, but for truly flipping the power. My dear friends, we have journeyed through understanding disrespect, strengthening our inner core, mastering non-reaction, and wielding assertive communication. Now let us confront one of the most profound transformations possible, turning the very experience of disrespect into a catalyst for immense personal growth. This is the alchemy of the spirit, converting lead into gold, transforming what seems like an attack into an opportunity for profound self-improvement. It is natural to feel hurt or angry when disrespected. But if we allow these emotions to consume us, we remain stuck, victims of external circumstances. The Shaolin path teaches us to find the lesson in every challenge, to see every obstacle as a stepping stone. Disrespect, while painful, can illuminate areas within ourselves that need attention or reveal truths about our environment that we might otherwise ignore. First, consider the feedback, however poorly delivered. Is there a kernel of truth, however small, in the criticism? Perhaps the tone was aggressive, the delivery unkind, but was there an underlying point that, if stripped of its negativity, could offer a valuable insight? This requires immense humility and the ability to separate the message from the messenger. If someone says you're always late and disorganized while yelling, the yelling is unacceptable. But is there a pattern of lateness or disorganization you could address? This is not about validating their disrespect, but about using the mirror they hold up, however distorted, to see aspects of yourself you might want to refine. This is self-improvement at its most courageous. Secondly, disrespect can highlight your boundaries. When someone crosses a line, it is a clear signal that your boundary either needs to be established, reinforced, or communicated more effectively. This experience, though uncomfortable, forces you to clarify what you will and will not tolerate. It pushes you to define your personal space and your standards for interaction. Without the discomfort of disrespect, we might passively allow our boundaries to erode, leading to greater unhappiness down the line. So see it as a painful but necessary lesson in self-protection. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, disrespect strengthens your resilience. Each time you navigate such an experience without losing your inner peace, without retaliating in kind, without allowing it to define your worth, you build mental and emotional fortitude. You become more robust, less easily shaken. Just as a tree becomes stronger by withstanding storms, so too does your spirit become more resilient by weathering moments of disrespect. This resilience is an invaluable asset, not just in dealing with others, but in facing all of life's inevitable challenges. Furthermore, transforming disrespect into growth means cultivating a deeper sense of compassion, not just for yourself, but even for the person who disrespected you. As we discussed, disrespect often stems from their own pain, fear, or ignorance. When you can view their actions through this lens of compassion, it lessens the personal sting. It allows you to respond with wisdom, rather than reacting with anger. This doesn't mean condoning their behavior, but understanding its source, which frees you from its emotional grip. Finally, the act of transforming disrespect into growth is a powerful affirmation of your own agency. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the master of your own response. You choose to learn, to grow, to become better, stronger, and wiser because of the experience, not in spite of it. This proactive approach flips the script entirely. The disrespecter intended to diminish you, but instead they inadvertently provided the very impetus for your elevation. This is the ultimate act of empowerment, turning poison into medicine and demonstrating that your journey of self-mastery is unstoppable. My friends, we have journeyed through the intricate landscape of disrespect, from its roots to its transformation. Now, let us arrive at the pinnacle of our discussion, the profound impact of leading by example, and how this quiet, consistent demonstration of self-mastery naturally inspires respect from others. This is not about demanding respect, it is about radiating it, about embodying the very qualities you wish to see reflected back to you. The Shaolin way is not about grand pronouncements or forceful assertions. It is about consistent practice, about living your principles in every moment. Similarly, inspiring respect is about living authentically, with integrity and with an unwavering commitment to your own values. When you consistently demonstrate self-respect, when you uphold your boundaries, when you communicate with clarity and composure, you become a living lesson for those around you. Consider the ripple effect. When you treat yourself with dignity, others observe this. When you are disciplined in your pursuits, others witness your commitment. When you maintain your composure in the face of provocation, others see your inner strength. This is a form of silent teaching, far more powerful than any lecture. People learn how to treat you by observing how you treat yourself and how you allow yourself to be treated. If your actions consistently communicate your worth, then respect becomes the natural response. Leading by example also means demonstrating integrity. Do your words align with your actions? Do you follow through on your commitments? Do you treat others with the very respect you wish to receive? When there is congruence between what you say and what you do, you build trust. Trust is the foundation of genuine respect. People respect those who are reliable, honest, and consistent in their character. This is not about being perfect, but about striving for alignment, about owning your mistakes, and about continuously striving to be a person of your word. Radiating confidence is another key aspect. This is not an arrogant bravado, but a quiet, assured presence that comes from knowing yourself and trusting your capabilities. Confidence is contagious. When you believe in yourself, others are more likely to believe in you. This confidence is built through consistent self-improvement, through mastering skills, through overcoming challenges, and through a deep understanding of your own unique contributions to the world. It is the natural byproduct of the inner strengths we have discussed. Furthermore, leading by example means extending respect to others, even those who may not initially offer it to you. This is a powerful paradox. When you treat others with dignity, even when they are not at their best, you elevate the interaction. You set a higher standard. You demonstrate that your respect is not conditional on their behavior, but rather a reflection of your own character. This can often disarm negativity and invite a more positive response. It is not about being a doormat, but about choosing to operate from a place of grace and wisdom. Finally, remember that inspiring respect is a long game. It is not about a single interaction, but about a consistent way of being. There will always be individuals who, for their own reasons, choose to be disrespectful. But when you lead by example, when you embody self-respect and integrity, those instances become anomalies rather than the norm. Your presence, your energy, and your unwavering commitment to your own path will naturally draw genuine respect from those who are capable of offering it. You become a beacon, not just for yourself, but for others who seek to live with greater dignity and purpose. This is the ultimate flip of power, not just reclaiming it for yourself, but inspiring it in the world around you.